Is that still you doing it? Like, did you choose? Did you make that character development? Did you choose to go shit in the sink?
There we go. Can you guys hear me again? There we go. Yeah. Right as we go live, my mic gets disconnected.
Hell yeah, dude.
But now that you
Can
can
you hear me now?
we can talk all about how.
Josh, can you speak up a sec? Speak up a bit.
Am I really quiet now? Can you guys hear me?
Josh, is Josh talking?
Josh, can you hear me? Can you hear us?
Yes. Yes. What the heck?
Josh, fix your mic.
Josh, mute your mic and unmute it.
What the heck?
First the camera, then the mic.
Josh, can you hear us?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Is he talking?
Blink twice if you're talking.
I can hear my own voice through Yusuf's thing.
Is he saying something?
I'm about to pull up stream so I can find out what you're actually hearing.
No.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, he's
No,
good.
I've been fine this whole
We can hear
time.
you now.
I've been
Wow.
fine this whole time. You know what? You asked me to do an intro. I'm trying to be nice. You're just prepping me for the hard time you're going to give me about Zenitsu later. That's fine. I'm ready for it.
Get on with it!
Today, ladies and gentlemen,
Vomit out of my mouth, man.
3, 2, 1, action. We're talking about Demon Slayer, the final 2 episodes of the Entertainment District arc. Whatever the actual numbers are, I don't know.
Yeah, does anyone know the actual numbers?
The episodes.
10 and 11.
And
That.
and 11.
And we're talking about that tonight on this episode of this episode. So, buckle up.
So let's get started.
Wow, you opened it wrong, Mitch. Alright, who wants to start off? I did not take notes.
Yeah.
Tanjiro is so freaking cool, man.
Big
I
fight.
love Tanjiro in these episode 10.
Yeah.
Loved
You
him.
shot the Snapple. No
The reason I like
motion.
Tanjiro so much in episode 10, this kind of just like jump forward a little bit, but he never felt like some bullshit happened. Everything he did in episode 10 felt like just him, just pure determination, not wanting to give up, right? It never felt like there was some bullshit until the end, and we'll get to the end. But there was like the whole beginning where he threw the kunai and he did all that stuff to pretend that he was more hurt than he was. Like it felt like it was just him being smart and actually using his training for once, rather than, oh, I can sun breathe now, let's go, or oh, I'm unconscious, but so I did this thing to where I can fight again, like the other two idiots did. So, all right, good conversation, guys.
So
Well,
you
you're
like
jumping
that,
ahead,
that they're
so.
being practical and realistic is what you're saying.
Yes, the fight felt real, and I like that. Like it felt like Tanjiro figuring out ways to survive rather than bullshit saving him.
Yeah, that's what Tanjiro likes to do. He just kind of stops and just thinks, you know. He's kind of like Midoriya in that, right?
Yeah.
'Cause that's what Midoriya does a lot.
Yeah.
So what was the first episode? Episode 10 or 11?
Episode 10.
Okay. So episode 10 starts off where it left off. All hell broke loose. Fucking Tofu lost an arm or hand, and he was completely poisoned and down for the count. Inosuke got stabbed through the heart, and he was taken out of the fight. And so then this episode continues where it last left off with Zenitsu pushing Tanjiro off the hill.
And Zenitsu gets crushed by
All the
buildings.
debris.
Basically, yeah, he's basically
Dude,
both his legs are broken, pretty much.
I was so surprised at the start of that episode where if I can hear myself through your mic, by the way. So then I'm so surprised just how durable Tanjiro is, because he gets pushed off an effing roof after all this BS and all this fighting and stuff. He hits the ground hard, and I'm like, I'm surprised he's alive at this point, dude. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy that he's alive, like you said. He got what? His freaking chest got cut open. He just used this new breathing technique that like crippled his lungs or whatever. His whole body's hurt.
He combined water breathing with sun breathing to save Purple Wife.
And he's still pushing. He's still going. which is why. But that's why I was saying I like this episode because it was like Tanjiro. There was no, like I said, there was no bullshit anime move or anime power up. It was just him and his grittiness going until he couldn't go anymore. So I like that about him in this episode.
Do we? Oh, do you guys know the name of that green demon, the brother?
It's like Girobo or something.
I
Girobi
think it's
or
like
something.
Gyotaro.
Gitaro.
Gitaro.
Okay.
Okay, so Green Demon fucking starts mocking Tanjiro, saying like how weak and like how was it unfortunate or disgraceful? I don't know what word he was using to describe him off the top of my head, but he was just kind of talking mad shit to him. He's like, "Oh, that's your sister? Wow, you're trying so hard, and you know Nezuko's the one that's protecting you. You're so pitiful, dude. Ah, you're such a little stupid bitch, little dumbass. Hey,
Slap him on the head.
those your fingers, dude. Ah!" And
Yeah.
dude, Green Demon breaks effing Tanjiro's like two of his fingers, and then grabs on his hair and starts ripping that. I was
It was
surprised.
very,
I'm surprised they didn't like take off half his scalp at that point, dude. I was
it was
like, this
very
demon's having no
realistic,
mercy.
very realistic and very like gruesome couple minutes right there, which is why I liked it. It felt super real and it felt super like yeah gritty. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they did a good job kind of showing the hopelessness that he had in that situation, and it really kept you on edge too, because it's like, well, he's not killing them. He's kind of just playing with them, but something really has to happen here. It's not just gonna end like this because we obviously have the whole episode. So
And it just
yeah, I think it was
also
really accurate.
it also gives you a scope on just how effed up the entertainment district is now. It's just like pretty much most of the place is just up in flames right now, and just debris all over the place from their fight.
Which is crazy because majority of that was from like episode 4 when Daki did her big ribbon attack or what is it called? Chad? What are her ribbons called? Obi.
Obi, yeah.
Yeah, when she did her big Obi attack, it's like that's what it was from because the brother hasn't done that much like physical damage to the district,
Hmm.
so it's all from Daki.
Yeah, I would argue slash agree and say that him just toying with Tanjiro like that is scarier than him just running up behind Sasuke and stabbing him in the back, because he's just like flaunting his power and just mocking Tanjiro, and the anticipation is much more difficult to watch than just like obviously it was still just difficult to see him get stabbed in the back, but it's just more difficult as you're just like, what the hell's gonna happen?
Well, I thought the part that captured it the most, and this leads into what happens next, but when Tanjiro runs away and he starts throwing random stuff at him, like anything he can get his hands on, in last ditch desperation to get separation, like at that point you're like, oh shit, Tanjiro literally can't do anything else but throw pebbles at this
He
guy.
did the
Like
most realistic thing there. He grabbed
yeah,
the
exactly.
Nezuko and just started running for it.
Yeah,
He's
and I was
like,
like,
my fingers are broke. All I gotta do is protect Nezuko. I'm out this bitch. I'ma head out.
and the shot where the brother is just walking through the flames and he's just silhouetted and he's just such a the freaking we can't say this enough about Demon Slayer. The visuals in Demon Slayer are second to none, man. They're so freaking good, beautiful, and the fire looked like real fire. It was so good.
Yeah. So
The,
go ahead.
the debris looks real too. Look like
Yeah.
real debris.
It's like they actually shoveled in debris into my screen, dude. It was crazy.
Zenitsu under the building, that looked pretty realistic too. How he was like squirming and
Dude,
stuff. Like they really did it.
dude, I would panic underneath that shit, man. I would hope I would die quick from that, man.
Well, he can't panic because he wasn't awake, so he doesn't know what the hell's going on.
Well, obviously he was trying to reach, right?
But yeah, but it's not him trying to reach. We're gonna get into this later.
But Green Demon keeps talking shit to Tanjiro even after punting him across a good chunk of the town, and continues to talk shit. And then at one point, wait, no, Tanjiro, like Mitch said, starts throwing a bunch of like powder and just pouches and just sweets
Anything
and
he can
stuff.
get his hand on.
Yeah, rocks and stuff. Just starts just out of desperation, from what it looks like. And then the Green Demon gets up in Tanjiro's face again and starts talking some more mad shit to him. And then here is like a part that I really liked. He was starting to like, you know, kind of give him some logic, like, hey, you know, you can always protect your sister if you become a demon too. Like, kind of, you know, getting that like idea in his mind stuff. And I'm like sitting there like, honestly, not an awful deal. That
Yeah.
mean, unfortunately, like Gyu and the old guy that trained him would have to kill themselves. But you know,
Well, and two, like what we find out in the next episode, it's very parallel to what's his name, Gitaro,
Green
Gyotaro.
Demon, yeah.
Gyotaro. It's very parallel. His offer to Tanjiro is very parallel to the offer he got from whoever the hell that was in episode 11.
What were
So.
you saying about his like master and stuff would have to kill themselves?
They have to do because no, because when they met the Hashira, like the main dude, they were like the main like the head honcho was just like, hey, just so you know, this is Tanjiro and that's his sister. Um, I got a letter from Gyu and the trainer dude, the old guy, and says, hey, we vouch for these two. If Nezuko fucks up and eats a dude, then we're gonna kill ourselves out of, you know.
Okay.
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
So that's kind of the stakes of it, because if Nezuko kind of goes too far, that means most likely the death of Tanjiro, Gyu, and then the old guy.
So that explains even more why Tanjiro was trying so hard to stop Nezuko. Because like I thought he was just trying to stop her because he wanted to save her humanity.
I feel like that's his main motivation, though.
Well, yeah, but there's also that side motivation of he doesn't want Gyu and this trainer and to have to kill themselves.
Yeah, I would think that was just a consequence of the action. I don't think that's Tanjiro's main motivation. He wants to.
Oh yeah, I never said it's his main motivation, but he thinks about that when it's happening.
This actually goes into what ends up happening after Tanjiro like freaks out and starts, you know, chucking shit at Green Demon, because his philosophy is that he wants to remain a human. He wants to get Nezuko back to being a human, and pretty much rejects the Green Demon's offer. The only way Tanjiro knows how to do anything of any conflict, he fucking headbutts it. That thick forehead just completely bashes down, and I'm like, man, yeah. What'd I say?
No, I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
the Gyotaro was like feeling up his forehead. He's like, "Oh yeah, this scar. Ooh yeah, I like it."
Oh
That was
yeah,
so weird. He
yeah.
was rubbing his fucking forehead. I was like, what is
And he's like,
happening?
"Ooh,
So
it's so
unfortunate. So unfortunate. You were cursed with this little scar. Tanjiro's like, stop making fun of me.
beautiful." Tanjiro's like, "Oh, he touched my forehead." All I can feel is
So
But
then,
that's when we realized, yeah, the brother's like, really, he's gonna try and headbutt me? Does he think I'm that weak? And he's like, wait,
he's like, wait a minute.
what?
Wait a minute. What the
Why
hell's
can't
going on?
Why that hurt so bad?
Owie. But it turns out,
"Whoa, it's a magic trick. What is this?"
David Blaine.
so with the items, so it turns out the Green Demon got weakened because the inside of the items Tanjiro was throwing, he managed to sneak in like a kunai from the purple wife that had poison or something that like hampered his powers or just blocked it off.
It was the same poison that they used earlier to where he couldn't regenerate his legs.
Mm.
So
So then with the
Night,
Green
night,
Demon,
yeah,
yeah, night, bye bye.
Yeah.
And then when Tanjiro got that, you know, when he realized it was good to go, then he took that opportunity and made an opening for himself to get his katana down on his neck, and he was pretty much pushing down as hard as he possibly could onto Green Demon's neck, trying to decapitate him pretty much. And with enough Dragon Ball Z screaming, the sister's like, hold up, I gotta end this before it turns into an issue. So Daki starts throwing her obi at her, and then we got the main player hopping back in. And who was it?
Yeah, we got
the main player. What do you mean the main player?
I don't
a
know.
little Godspeed action.
I want
You
Josh
see little-
to take it over.
Yeah, go ahead, Josh.
Go ahead.
It's all you.
Say needs to be proven once again.
Loosen up that collar. You're gonna start sweating.
Zenitsu proving once again what?
That he's a badass.
Yeah, okay, he's a badass in this episode, but then next episode he completely kills any character development he had in this entire season.
But that's later.
What do you mean
This
no?
is now.
Zenitsu.
Zenitsu.
Let's save that for a bit later. Let's not shit on him just yet.
So
Because
from
he just zippity dude.
Lots of layers to this
It was
Matryoshka doll, and you're
super.
just
it's like an onion.
It was super fucking cool what he did, and he used like what Godspeed like 10 or whatever. He's like I'm gonna whip out my dick and use Godspeed 10, you fucking bitches, and he almost single-handedly cuts Daki's head off by himself. He's moving so fast. That was cool. But
So-
the context of it makes it fucking lame.
To your point of saying that you like about like the characters being realistic and stuff, I liked that as he was doing it, he explained that he's got limitations to that ability and he can only use it one more time or whatever before he's gonna be like out of commission.
Yeah.
So to your point of it feeling like it basically just infinite power and unrealistic or whatever, we get that point of realism or whatever by him saying, you know, shit, I can only do this a little bit longer. Hopefully I get some help here.
That's not what I meant though when I said I liked the realism of Tanjiro's struggle. The reason I said that is because he didn't pull out any crazy fucking final move that you thought he was down and out, but then he's like, you know what, never mind, I'm okay, I'm gonna use it one last time. Like he didn't do that. Like the other, like Inosuke does that too. Like Tanjiro actually had to like, except for the end, we see at the end he does one more thing, but it's just like.
So to put us back on track, to be a little bit more descriptive of what happened, from the debris, Zenitsu unleashes a new attack that we haven't seen yet. What is it? The Thunderclap and Flash? Godspeed.
Yeah.
So he uses that power to break free of the debris and
Time out. I'm gonna email the author of Hunter x Hunter and tell him to sue Demon Slayer.
Yeah,
So,
he took Killua's special.
Killua's signature move is called Godspeed.
Yeah, but
That's
is
why
it?
you're so salty. Anyway.
But is
I
it
think they
called
could
a
get away with
Thunderclap and you know?
Yeah,
No,
they'll
because
probably.
Killua's is cooler than Zenitsu's, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of blue surrounding him. But after he uses Godspeed to get out of the debris, he takes aim at Daki and unleashes a second Godspeed onto Daki, almost decapitating her. But because her neck is made with like the obi and stuff, it's really hard to cut just straight on. You have to do it from multiple angles, like we saw with the previous episode. And Zenitsu's just kind of with Godspeed, with just hanging Daki by like his sword, just flying through all the district, like, you know, just kind of like a pinball, just all over the place. Add those like those slot pings and stuff while going for the city.
Yeah, it's just like a little air show, just flying around, not coming down.
And then
just hanging on just by a little bit, and Tanjiro's still just trying to use his muscles.
Zenitsu's
he's
just
still got his sword like in the dude's neck a little bit.
Yeah, he's pushing everything he's got into that attack, and you know, with that opening, that pretty much inspired Zenitsu to act too. He's like, Tanjiro made himself, but I got time for me to make my intro. Oh, Godspeed! And then they show like a shot of like his legs just completely bleeding and stuff, you know. He's just like, I can only use this twice because, you know, I've already used it once, so we have to be able to use it twice for this context.
I'm gonna say this one more time later on, but I'm so pissed that by this point, after all, like, call it what you want, but all the badass shit that he's done, he still has his fucking pigtails on his head, dude. Still has those little bows. He's like,
Slow makeup.
I've just been crushed. I used my ace twice in a row. I'm about to decapitate this bitch with 2 bows in my hair.
You want to know why they?
Quit being a hair.
It's because the animators and the artists and the author knows that deep down the only thing Zenitsu is a comedy character. That he has no real impact on the story. All he is comedy, and it's fucking shit comedy at that.
But what happened?
So anyway,
What happens after Godspeed comes into play? Is it just Tanjiro screaming again at Green Demon?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then
and then
he.
you're Yusuf, go
Go
ahead.
ahead, Mitch.
No, you go. You're fine.
Nope.
Yeah.
Josh, go.
I'll
Alright.
go.
Yeah, go, Josh.
Wait, let the Twix bar say something.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
Jesus
busy. It's
Christ.
trying to drink the
Ah, the
Diet Coke.
gore's back. Fuck!
Just tell the glare to go home, man.
Bad. Bad glare. Bad.
All right, Yusuf, what happens then?
Yeah, so it flashes back to Tanjiro trying to flex his muscles. Nothing's happening. But Gyotaro uh, starts doing like a push up off the ground. He's like, "No, this isn't how it ends." So he flings Tanjiro off of him, and then he starts letting out another assault on him, pretty much. And they're right back
He
at it.
basically the poison wears off, and then he gets the full strength again.
He gets
Like
the upper hand.
Yeah, but then, the Giga Chad comes out, baby.
Yeah, Zenitsu launches
Oh,
another
fuck.
Godspeed, right?
No, fucking not.
Right?
No, Tanjiro. They gave
Uzui-
Tanjiro a little bit of time there. He was fending off his attacks, even though he was easily getting overwhelmed by them. Because Gyotaro's attacks just kept coming faster and
Oh,
faster,
yeah.
and
Oh,
then
I forgot about that scene.
he just
Yeah,
had
he
like
did
Yeah.
defend him
this
with that.
the slightest sliver of distance between him getting like impaled in the skull by his scythe or whatever,
Yeah,
and then Chad rolls up and then
Chad.
catches it in his fucking thing with one hand.
He's such a fucking badass, dude. Oh my god, I love Uzui so much.
Yeah, so Tofu makes a return and starts trading blows with Green Demon. And then we get all the like awesome exploding, like flashy combat again with Tofu. And it's a lot of back and forth between Green Demon and Tofu with them screaming at each other. And then each of the screaming shots, they get closer and closer, like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And they slowly get like closer every single time they scream at each other. So, and
But then,
then
did
Tanjiro.
we see that scene yet where like they're like going super fast down that like straightaway, and
Mhm.
it's just Tengen completely like keeping up the attack while the demon's just in defense. That
Mm-hmm.
scene was so fucking cool, and then Tanjiro's
Yeah.
like running behind him, trying to keep up.
Yeah, so Tanjiro's trying to keep close to Tofu, and he's kind of doing his own analysis of it. He's just like, man, you know, he won't be able to hold out much longer, man. But
I think
Tofu's still going for it.
yeah, he was doing like a really good job holding his own, even though he was clearly like handicapped by that point with the one hand, and he was already burnt out. But yeah, kind of like going back to what you were saying, Mitch. I think the artistry in their fight was like really, really well done. That was like
So good.
it was fantastic. I love that in the very beginning when Uzui like jumped right back into it. He's like, "All right, it's our final. It's like our final time or whatever." And he like I don't know. He envisioned the demon's attacks as like a series of notes, like on a scale or something, and then I don't know. It just like it played into like his identity as the sound Hashira, because I guess he analyzed it that way, and he clearly was able to compete once again, even though it was like his last ditch effort. I just thought that was really beautifully done. So I watched it so many times after that.
Yeah,
Just
even
fucking
though they
rip-
showed early on that Tengen was like capable of kind of fighting with one hand when he like held it at his
Yeah.
like fingertips or whatever, it was still fucking and therefore then we kind of like knew that he would come back into the fight with just one hand. Still fantastic. Doesn't matter if we knew that it was coming. It was fucking awesome.
the way he fought, and he like you said, he just kept switching the blades and throwing it around with one hand. It's like, dude, how the hell is this guy doing this? This is insanity.
Yeah, during that fight, it was just fireworks all over the place. My brain's like, there's a lot of explosions. It's kind of cool right now. Oh, there's a shot of them screaming at each other. It's cool. Oh, they're getting closer.
Yeah, it's like-
It's getting more intense. It's getting intense. Oh, more explosions, more fireworks. It's cool. It's really cool. Oh, there's Tanjiro.
Yeah, literally, like as each of their blows were exchanged, like it was literally just fireworks popping off. Like it was literally a light show. It was flashy, which is exactly what he wanted,
Mhm.
and we got that.
So then it reaches kind of like an apex of the fight where the green Tenzin strikes him, and then the Green Demon retaliates by slashing one of his eyes. And Tanjiro, being concerned, he screams out, Tofu. But then Tofu's like just a badass. He's just like, "Don't stop!
So fucking cool.
Jump!" And Tanjiro jumps up and is able to connect his sword. But right before or after he connects his sword, the fucking... what was his weapon? Like a scythe or a scythe?
Yeah.
So the fucking Green Demon launches up his scythe and fucking goes right through Tanjiro's chin, dude. You know what Tanjiro does? He's like,
Barely missing the
"Alright."
tongue.
He's like, "Alright,
He's
I might
"I
take your
gotta
head
use my
off now."
toes. I gotta use
Yeah,
my
I'm gonna
toes
tell you
for
now.
this one.
It was he hit him right before he swung his sword. He got hit, and he's like, "I gotta still go." And then he's like, "Fuck it," and he swings his sword more. I'm like,
I'm
bro,
gonna
how
be
the
the
hell?
one that takes your head off.
Like, how the hell do you swing a sword with as much power as needed to cut off the head of an upper six, with a hole like your shoulder basically detached, 2 broken fingers, and then a hole in your chin? Like, what?
Do you want to know how it's done?
Anime, he's a protagonist.
Don't
It's a lot of breathing.
Yes.
Like, breathes hard.
He just
A lot of
breathes
meat getting
harder.
out of focus. Yeah. Look at this.
if physics plays into this
Oh, bye,
fight in the slightest, by Josh.
Welcome back, Josh.
Hello, Josh.
Hey.
How you doing?
How's the traffic where you're at?
Josh, we can't hear you.
You tell me.
Can you say
Sounds like it's flowing nice. You should just go outside and show him the gun show, dude. That'd make him not come back.
If physics plays into this fight at all, which it doesn't, but like right at the end, like when Tanjiro connects his sword and he's like, "Oh, I gotta use all my might from my head down to my toesies."
I was gonna make an all my joke.
My toes easy. Gotta give up extra pound my toes.
Oh my god.
So, continue.
So
Finish your
in that,
thought.
in that moment,
They're toesies.
I realized that, oh shit, that actually makes sense because he actually like was falling on top of him because he jumped, right? So in the air he was, like,
Yeah.
he was coming
The
down.
demon's like here, and Tanjiro's going like Tengen's
Yeah.
going like that, and Tanjiro's going like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, so like he was actually able to use like all his weight
Mm.
to behind that attack. So that made sense. The gravity was pushing down on his feeties.
So then we had the. Did we have his like transformation to happen afterwards,
Yeah.
or
Right before that happened, it showed that they connected, and then it like, it was like Gutaro was like, "Oh, he couldn't slice my head before. I'm fine. Let me take care of this other bitch first." Flashes to Zenitsu, and then Zenitsu's like right there. He's like, "Oh, I can't do this much longer. I'm about to gas out." And then we got
We hear
Inosuke
Inosuke's
that
laugh.
comes back with,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna say, we fucking
We
called
called
that,
it,
though.
dude. Me and you called
yeah,
it
you
100%.
guys nailed it.
We nailed it.
Flex,
we nailed
he-
like word for word. He's like, yeah, my flexibility allowed me to move my heart, and poison doesn't affect me because I grew up in the mountains. Bitch,
Yup.
what?
Yup.
Yeah,
What?
at first half I was like, cool. That second half I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah. He just fucking moved his heart, like, and then poison just doesn't affect him because he lives in the mountains. Whatever, bro. Whatever.
Yeah, just wait till next episode where
I'm a Nord, so I have good cold resistance.
yeah, pretty much. So then Inosuke hops on the Daki train and starts slicing.
Blood spewing from his nose, from his mask. Yeah.
So, and then while that's going on, we go back to Tofu and Tanjiro fighting Green Demon, and this is when Tanjiro is just like, "I'm gonna cut your head off. It's gonna be me and no one else."
It's gonna be me.
And then they show his goddamn forehead, It's like, "Oh, I'm gonna use 100 times my power," and then it's just Scar just erupts into like flames and stuff, and then
Sunbreathing.
he starts screaming, and he loses like his pupils and stuff. It's just nothing but white, and then his hair like starts to get like a fiery flow to it too. And
At this point, the demons and all the demon slayers are just going.
dude,
Yeah,
it's a straight up Dragon Ball episode. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
All 6 of them are just screaming as loud as they can.
Yeah, and then we finally
If
get
we
an
could see the
awesome
muscle
shot.
mice right now, they'd all be like.
Yeah, they're screaming too, because they're trying to pick up debris or some shit. I don't know. But then we get establishing shots of everybody screaming. Goes Zenitsu, Inosuke, Tanjiro, and then it's like, oh, we need more light in this bitch. And then they do the screaming again, but they add more light to it. And next thing you know, both the Green Demon and Daki get decapitated at the same exact time, with both of their heads kind of rolling out and looking at each other. And they're like, all right, man, I'm about to head out. And then, before the episode ends, though, we find out that the battle's not entirely over, because we see Tofu freaking out and looking at...
Well, first, we like, it's quiet, and then Tanjiro's like, he's dying, right? Like, he's killing him.
Well, I was going to say, and then we see the shot of Tanjiro, where I can't even think of another anime character right now that I've seen that is more effed up than Tanjiro. Like, from these last couple of fights, he has been through so much. His shoulders effed up. His eyes were still bleeding. His chin was pierced through. He's poisoned now, and he's used sun breathing multiple times, which we already know it completely destroys his lungs pretty much, and he is barely able to like get any breath within him. He is just freaking out, just trying to breathe.
I'm trying to think of an anime character that I've seen this fucked up, and like immediately Deku vs. Muscular comes to mind, but he wasn't poisoned, right?
Yeah,
That's
but-
what I was gonna say.
But the
That's
thing
what I was gonna
is,
say too, is I remember from watching. Obviously, I haven't finished it yet, but from My Hero, points when Deku has had to like flick individual fingers and then flick them again just to like kill them
it's
even
like-
more, just to keep in the fight or whatever.
well, you just gotta think too, like how exhausted at this point he is. He's not only past his point of exhaustion. He's just like, F it, man. You know,
His body is literally just running on adrenaline, right?
no, it's based on something else too, man.
And he's
A
the
little bit of
protagonist.
adrenaline
And the love for his
a little
sister.
bit of adrenaline, a little bit of plot armor.
Yeah, a little bit of protagonist bullshit.
Yeah, he is super fudged up. So then Tenzin, or better known as Tofu, realizes something is amiss, and he's screaming at Tanjiro. Tanjiro, at this point, is completely useless. All he's doing is trying to breathe.
Kamino, run!
You gotta run, leave, get out of here. It's
What'd you
bad.
say?
He's like,
Huh?
did I fail again? Oh, I hope I've cut off
What?
his head. And next thing you know, the blood demon art just completely engulfs the entire entertainment district pretty much. And that's when we have these crazy credits with, the battle just, the flames just kind of dying down and the credits just start to roll. I'm like, you pieces of shit. I have to wait a week now.
Brilliant. Fucking brilliant. Dude, I want to say,
Beautiful too.
last weekend of anime might have been one of the best, like, back-to-back anime experiences I've ever had in my life. Because I watched Demon Slayer, and then after that I watched Eren summon the Rumbling. I was like, what is happening, man? This is so fucking good right now. Like, anime is at such a high level right now. It's so
At
good.
least these two.
Yeah. Like, this episode 10 of Demon Slayer might be top 5 episodes of all time in anime, just period. It was so fucking good.
I think that episode of Demon Slayer actually passed the fastest. Like, it actually felt like
Yes.
it was 10 minutes instead of 20.
Yeah.
But it was so good, man.
Mm-hmm.
Everything about it was fucking just brilliant. And then episode 11 happened.
And then this weekend we had two, we had the same animes we were just praising, now having some fucking stinkers.
I didn't watch Attack on Titan yet, so
Well, everyone dies, so there you go.
Okay.
Take that to church.
I heard someone
Yeah.
gets abducted.
episode 11 of this is just, I was so excited coming off of episode 10, and then I was just like, really, we're gonna get fucking 25 minutes of backstory about the demons that are already dead that we don't fucking care about anymore.
I also
Like
thought it was gonna be like twice as long, not like 10 minutes.
10 minutes extra. Yeah. I really don't understand the writing, the idea of when you're writing two characters to give them a backstory after they're dead and we don't care about them anymore. It makes no sense to me. Why not give us that backstory like half of the season when we actually care about them, and that way we could be like, holy shit, we actually feel some sort of sympathy towards them,
Yeah,
not just they're big bad evils that we want our heroes to kill, and now that they're dead, we should feel sympathy for them. That's so stupid. It doesn't make any sense to me. But
That is I guess the pattern with this show,
yeah,
though.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say because they did the
And
same
I,
exact thing with Rui and
yeah, and
the
I think
bongo
it
guy,
like
right?
I think it like reinforces just how tragic it is, that you only that I mean, obviously that their lives themselves are tragic, and then it's also kind of tragic for you that you only get to learn about all of that as they're dying. Like you said, that like now you've suddenly like built this sort of sympathy for the character as they're dying. You're like, shit, you can't fucking die on me now. I actually
no,
care about you.
I had the exact opposite reaction. I
Oh,
was like, I don't care about their story at all because they're dead.
the way I put it is that I feel bad for them when they were human. I have zero sympathy for them now that they're a demon
Like
because of
if they
all the shit they did, man. All the people they killed, how many people's lives they ruined with all their acts as a demon. What happened to them as a human sucks, and it's got my sympathy for that part. But now that they're a demon and doing all this shit, no, I don't care.
Mhm.
When it started doing like the whole backstory with Green Demon and Daki, I was like, oh, fuck,
I don't care.
why?
I almost feel like if
But
I had gotten that backstory like in the middle of the arc, I would feel like how Trav is feeling, where the backstory would be over, they'd be back on their demon bullshit, and I'd be like, I don't really care. But because we get it right as they're dying, I feel like
I wonder if they do
but
that.
besides like right before they became a demon, this is the one point in time where they have had like the most humanity that they've ever had since becoming a demon. And so it's a point when I actually feel bad for them, because like I mean, I don't know how far we want to jump ahead or whatever, but like how he's trying to basically tell his sister to go away, or to like get away from him, is he's like trying to recognize how much of a bad influence he's been on her, and how he basically at least potentially like ruined her life and like screwed her over. And so he's trying to do right in his final
Yeah,
moments.
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe we should
Go for it.
backpedal a bit, like just talk about how we got to that point, like right when the final episode starts, just like the
I thought
aftermath.
I thought it was so stupid how they survived. I'm sorry.
Well, oh yeah. So with the aftermath, well, while the entire like blood demon art's going off and destroying pretty much all of the entertainment district, Nezuko conveniently is flying through the air, and she falls out of the box and is just like, oh, well, time for me to do something important. Just fucking Thanos snaps the blades. It just completely just burns them. And it makes sense because that's just Nezuko's gimmick. Like, she can burn like demon
All their
arts,
demon
I
arts, yeah.
guess, because that's what
Like
she.
the ropes in Mugen Train.
And she also burned the threads from Rui. That was my first thought. So it makes sense that she's able to do these slashes, but it's like all of them, they're not
Yeah,
connected. They're all separate, aren't they?
uh,
It's
so
kind of a
stupid.
little weird. It makes sense with the thread and the rope because they start meets the end. But then you have a blade here, blade here, blade here, blade here. Nope, just fuck it. It's gone.
And I
It's
also hated
over.
how they were just like, yep, done. And it's like they didn't even
Bye,
like draw it out. And it was like
bye,
Nezuko
bye,
popped out,
bye,
fired.
bye.
That's
Suspense.
unsafe. Yeah.
Bye. And then Tanjiro wakes up and he's no longer under the effect of the poison, which it's like at the start you're like, okay, that's convenient. But then who do we come across first? Inosuke or No,
You
we come
hear-
across Zenitsu first.
Yeah, you hear Zenitsu first. You hear the lover boy crying for help.
He says one line. He says one line that completely and utterly kills all character development he had. Like I would have been fine if he was like, "Oh, I'm scared. My legs hurt. Like help me, Tanjiro. I'm scared." He says, "Wait, what happened? I don't remember doing any of this." There you go. It was not him acting on his own accord. It was his body doing it for him. Not his character, not him. Zenitsu fucking sucks.
He was sleepwalking, man. He couldn't remember.
So
yeah,
stupid.
I gotta
So
say,
stupid.
I was extremely disappointed that nothing came out of all that. You know,
So, here's a question I have. So, Yusuf, say all of us are like, we're at the same house, we're sleeping, right? You are sleepwalking, and you go shit in the sink. Just because you're sleepwalking, right? People do weird shit when they sleepwalk, and you don't remember doing it. Is that still you doing it? Like, did you choose? Did you make that character development? Did you choose to go shit in the sink? No, you didn't. Your body just randomly did it. Okay, it's not Zenitsu's character that chose to fight. He just did it, and then he wakes up. He's like, "Oh, what happened? Where am I? Why are my legs hurt? Why are my legs broken?
but what if it was a thought that
Tanjiro,
Yusuf
save me!
had?
I'm
Yeah.
so scared. Tanjiro, help me! Wah, 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 wah. Fucking pussy boy. Oh, I hate him so much, dude. Fucking
I'll be honest. I actually thought you were gonna go a complete different direction with that story. Because I thought you were gonna say, "Was it still you that shat in the sink?" Like, yeah, it was. I did shit.
But you don't make the conscious choice to shit in the sink, is what he's saying.
Yeah, so Zenitsu, it was Zenitsu that did all this stuff, but he didn't consciously choose to do it. So he did his character. The only character development he had in this entire 11 episodes was he stopped Daki originally from hurting that girl, and it's cool. That's it. But that was episode 2. Then for the next fucking 9 episodes, it was just the same character development over and over and over again. But he doesn't even remember any of it, unless we get in like episode 1 of season 3 where he has recollections of it. Then I'll eat my words. But right now, Zenitsu is a waste of a character this entire season.
I wouldn't go that far, but
I would.
I mean, what has he
Because-
done?
he is the reason why half of the one demon that made up the upper 6 died.
Okay, yeah, but I'm
That's
saying
sleeping
like,
Zenitsu.
yeah, that's sleeping.
He's talking about
Zenitsu.
actual
Still
Zenitsu.
Talking about actual Zenitsu. They're
If actual Zenitsu wasn't there, then sleeping Zenitsu wouldn't be there. They're
They're
the same.
two-
They're the same person, but
They're
they're separate at the same
They're
time.
2 separate characters.
What if he? Okay, so he's sleeping, right, when he's fighting like that. What if he's dreaming that he's fighting? So he's not consciously aware that it's actually happening.
Then he
but
would mention he had a dream of that, right?
Yeah, it wouldn't be like, well, what happened? Why am I so like? Where am I?
No, they give
But
us
also-
zero
also,
evidence to show that Zenitsu has seen or heard anything from what just happened the last couple of
Also-
episodes.
Also, I would be a lot more okay with it if Zenitsu consciously made the choice to fall asleep, but he doesn't. He gets scared asleep, or he gets knocked out, and then
Yeah,
he
he got
fights.
knocked. He got knocked out, and then he was saved by
So,
Inosuke.
He doesn't even consciously make the choice to become a badass, to sleep, so he can fight. It just happens to him, and then he just reacts to what happens to him. Not even him. His his instincts just react. It's not him doing anything. That's why he's such a dumb character. And then Trav called it. As soon as he wakes up, he's gonna go back to that annoying crybaby little shit.
Which I'm disappointed about. Which I was hoping he would be like, I don't know. He would remember something, or maybe learn from something, or maybe someone acknowledges his strength, and he's like, yeah, maybe I can do something. Maybe that's why my legs got fucked up or something. I don't know.
Like, I hope.
My expectations
I'm-
are very low for him at this
I
point.
hope I'm wrong with how bad of a character is. Like, I hope he does something that actually impresses me. Why are you going?
Yeah,
Waiting for the opportunity to talk. I mean, you won't shut the fuck up. So
Whoa!
Right. Trav and I are right.
Calm down, Twixbox. Calm down. You didn't mean it.
Josh
Yeah,
is
I mean,
little-
I already have
he
3
was-
different talking points that I
Josh
want
is
to
a
talk
little-
about. but
The
you
guns
won't
are coming
shut up.
out. The guns coming out. All right,
Hey,
take
Go
it.
ahead, Josh.
Go. Let's go.
I agree with what you're saying in the disappointment, because honestly, for how much I really like Zenitsu and what his potential is, if he actually is able to connect those 2 parts of himself, he has such great potential if that happens, and we might still get that. I mean, it could be that the creators of this show are just memeing us, and they're gonna forever keep them like that. But I also think they're very clever too, and that could be revealed in like the actual like subsequent episode, because this most recent episode that ended this season, we didn't really get much closure besides, oh, everyone's alive, hooray. And I feel like they could still go in many
Spoilers.
different directions. What? Everyone's
Spoiler.
alive.
What's that, Josh?
Spoilers. We didn't talk about it.
Spoilers, right? Okay.
Yeah, the
Oh,
walls
the
are
gun
alive.
show though. The fucking sleeves are coming up.
Here we go.
Roll them up a bit more, Josh. Just a bit more. Let me see elbow.
Oh yeah.
It's actually tough to roll it up this far. Okay.
Yeah, you might
So
rip your
first thing I'll
sleeves,
say-
dude. You're gonna fucking break that hoodie
First
with
thing
the
I'll
fucking
say,
guns.
To me, it doesn't matter whether he's conscious or not conscious. It's still Zenitsu. I know you can make the argument of it being two different people or two different versions of Zenitsu. At the end of the day, it's always Zenitsu. I don't think you can make an argument that these are all unconscious actions, since he's like actively talking to Daki and talking about, you can't hurt that little girl. Just because bad shit happened to you doesn't mean that you can act out on other people. He's not just acting on reflexes and instinct the whole time. He's still actively talking. So regardless of whether there's character development in waking Zenitsu's life, we're at least seeing he's capable of everything that he's doing. He is capable of doing it. We just have to see, like you said, some sort of connection, and shit's gonna get fucking wild. The other thing I want to mention, I do feel like potentially we're working our way towards that in the future, because I think especially over the course of this arc, Inosuke was very aware of the fact that Zenitsu was asleep, that he's capable of doing this when he's asleep, and he's like, dude, you gotta be asleep more often. I think that the people are starting to pick up on the fact that he's capable of these badass actions, and like they're connecting the dots to him being asleep. So maybe we will see some sort of a development.
Yeah, I
and
want
ability to unlock
actual
that on
Zenitsu to
command.
have more confidence and be
I
a
don't know-
competent like
I don't
fighter.
know why you had to put development in quotations, because he hasn't had any development. So if we actually saw that, it would be his first development. So I don't know what the fuck all the quotations were about.
Well, Josh is saying that Zenitsu's more incapable of hanging with the rest of the gang, but
I never said he wasn't.
my problem is that there's just two sides to the
Exactly.
Zenitsu coin, and I want one of the sides to just mesh more into the other. And as soon as I started hearing Zenitsu crying in the distance, I was like, here we go again.
And like I said, if he consciously made the choice, if he was like, okay, I know I can only win this fight if I'm asleep, and he consciously made the choice to
Not
like
aware of it yet.
take a sleeping pill, or
That kind of brings up the
Push up
question,
in his
like,
weight.
Maybe we're getting there. Like that's what I'm trying to say, is that maybe by Inosuke like recognizing this throughout the arc,
well,
maybe
I'm
we're
not.
getting there, because potentially Zenitsu isn't even aware
yeah,
that
okay,
he's such a badass when he's asleep. But if
Okay,
he starts
yeah.
to find out from other
I have a
characters, he's gonna be like,
question.
oh shit.
that's what I just said though. I said I hope I eat my words. I hope I'm wrong. I hope we finally get some development. Right now,
We have to do
at
it by the
this moment,
context of where we're at
he
right now.
is the worst character in the show because he doesn't do any. He's no development.
I have a question, because in the last episode when he did the
Of this
Godspeed
episode.
move, yeah, no, like on the last episode
Of
of
this
Demon
episode.
Slayer episode 10.
You're not gonna want to miss this.
Yeah, no, you don't want to
See you
miss how
guys next
awesome
time.
Zenitsu is.
He said the thing. He said the thing.
You won't want to miss this.
Catch you in the next one.
I'm trying to think, like, has Zenitsu ever had that Godspeed move?
No, this is the first time.
I imagine he.
And I'm guessing, if he knew that his limit was 2, how did he know that it was 2 and not like 1 before, and that he trained to get up to 2? Like, we also don't know that. And so if he actually had to train to get there, he had to have known that he has to sleep to fight to get better. And we just haven't been exposed to that yet.
I don't. I don't know. I don't think he's trained for it because the Godspeed is just another step up of the Thunderclap and Slash. It's the same move, just faster.
It's like
I'm
the
just saying
fastest
that
version of it that he
it
has.
could be possible that he had to train A to get to that point to be able to use that move, and then B to be able to increase his capacity to reuse that move. Just
Yeah.
like Tanjiro had to train or somehow knew how to do this sun breathing.
Okay, yeah, no.
Thing.
I will give you that I do think trains. I do think maybe he did train for the Godspeed. Maybe he knows how to use the Godspeed. But the fact that he's asleep, like the
Well,
fact that
because he's asleep gives him the confidence to actually fight.
it's not even the confidence. He doesn't even confidence. It shuts off his brain, so he's not scared anymore. And it's just his body acting on its instincts. He's not making any like decision when he's asleep. So, but like I said, I hope next arc I hope sometime soon we do get some kind of development with him. He desperately needs it.
I want to think, and I want to hope we're working our way there with the fact that all the way at the beginning of the season, we were hearing about how he was going out and doing his own missions on his own. He stood up to Daki to defend the girl. That was all him. No sleeping, no sword fighting, nothing. He just wasn't having it because he felt courageous and he felt the need to defend the people who were weak or whatever. Hopefully we're working our way there.
Yeah,
all I'm
but
saying is
we have to rate him based on the context of where we are right now in the story. And right now, there's two sides to Zenitsu. One side that we like seeing in action, and then the other side that just is there to be that comedic effect, pretty much.
I think we're definitely not in the minority of thinking that. And again, I don't think the creators of this anime are stupid. They probably know what everyone wants, and I feel like they'll give it to us. They're kind of just teasing it out a little bit.
Like, let me tell you, when they have a lot of work to do with this character for me to think he's even like when he's on my screen when he's not sleeping, I want to fast forward.
Dude, if you could just show me Zenitsu fighting without sleeping, then I won't be as annoyed by them.
He is the most unbearable character.
That's all I really want.
Watched in recent memory.
Nope. Most unbearable is the fucking blue wife. She was worse.
They're the same character, man.
Worse. She was worse.
They're the same. At least she's kind of funny. Zenitsu's
nope,
not funny at all.
Not funny at all.
She was annoying as hell.
Bad.
I thought she had some decent.
So before we get there, we need to talk about what happens next after Tanjiro meets up with Zenitsu. Zenitsu hears Inosuke's heartbeat starting to kind of go down and starting to fade. So then Tanjiro, piggybacking on Nezuko, meets up with Inosuke, and obviously what Inosuke said about poison was bullshit because the poison is killing him. At this point, it's taking up most of his chest. And, it's really tragic, and we don't know if he's going to... Nezuko just fucking, ignites the poison, so... And it just...
Touches him.
You want plot convenience? Fuck yeah. And...
How the hell is Tanjiro talking with a hole in his chin, bro?
Yeah, shouldn't it sound like all,
I think that when they showed him getting stabbed, they showed that it missed his tongue. So I guess he still got his tongue, but yeah. I guess that's how
Yeah, could you imagine...
Dude, you want to do a fucking experiment?
Could you imagine talking with a hole in your chin?
$20. $20, Mitch.
Alright, stab me, bro.
What? I'm not doing that. That's gross.
Oh, fine. Wait.
Yeah, do it live. Do it live. Do it live.
Experience and precision.
Also, how convenient, or I guess how ironic is it that this entire time? Well, I guess I have to wait for Mitch to get back because I feel like he would.
Oh my god.
Do it, bitch. Who said that? That's really irresponsible to say that out loud.
Just how
no. Yes.
Just how Inosuke.
We don't want to get demonetized on the stream, Mitch. That's against terms of service.
Demonetized? What monetization are we making?
We could just say it's ketchup. Just say it's ketchup. As long as you don't say the word Homer Simpson. Come on.
Just like Inosuke, I just want to say how ironic it is, or I guess funny, because Inosuke tried mimicking Uzui the entire time, and how Uzui was like, "Oh, I'm a ninja. I trained against poison. I'm not affected." He was affected by it. And Inosuke, "Oh, I lived in the mountains. I fucked with the boars. I'm immune to poison." He's not. So.
Inosuke is very impressionable. He takes on the characteristics of whoever he's with. But then he keeps his.
Yeah, I think he took on the characteristics a little too much for Tanjiro because he started coughing up the blood instead of Tanjiro with that hole in his mouth.
He takes on their characteristics, but God forbid he ever says anybody's name properly.
Yeah.
I thought it was fucking hilarious though when he wakes up. He's like, "Oh, I'm hungry. Give me some food."
Yeah. That he thinks that's what's gonna cure him.
Yeah. Just give me some food.
So Inosuke survives, and Tanjiro is hugging him in deep embrace, hurting him most likely. But then we cut to Tofu, really beat up, and you could see the poison is definitely taking a huge effect over his body. So he's trying to like get out his last words, and then you have the most.
God, she pissed me off
What?
so much.
You're gonna finish that sentence, or your brain just shut off.
Pissed me off
Because I don't want to
so
think
much.
about that scene anymore. The blue wife, I don't even want to know her fucking name. She just, she was so annoying.
Yeah, it's like one thing if she's
character is
freaking out
that
because, oh man, he's dying. Like, I can get that. You can play that as part of your character and just, like, be a meme that way. But when they actually got to the point where, like, he was trying to say his last words, I feel like that would be the point where even, like, an idiotic character would be like, oh shit, my husband is dying. He's trying to say something. Instead, here she is being subject to a mouthful of fucking pebbles because she wouldn't shut up.
Yeah.
And then starts spitting the pebbles at him.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah. She kept screaming for the effing pebbles. And the yellow wife, I identified as a character in this episode, dude. I was the yellow wife, dude. I was shoving pebbles in that fucking person's mouth.
You came out. Yay, good for Trav.
Yeah, dude.
Maybe that's why they did
Put
it.
a beard on her.
That's why they did it, is because they knew that's how you were gonna feel. So they were giving you a character to be like.
They wanted to give us a double header. First Senetsu and then the blue wife.
Either feel like the wife with the blonde hair wanting to shove rocks in her mouth, or the purple wife just staring at them being like,
dude.
Alex.
Now draw her having a happy family.
Fucking weird.
So then, dude, I'm so disappointed by the wives because the blue one and I was hoping the yellow one would have a bit more character or just a little bit more depth to them, but they've really turned into very one-dimensional characters. At least the purple wife has a little bit more depth to her. She shows that she's that cares a lot, very empathetic, and she's good with weapons and with like the kunai strategy and stuff. So we got all of that. And then damn it, Alex, I lost my train of thought reading that. So then the part that saved the scene for me though was Tofu being like, bruh, I'm about to die up. I'll say my last words, And so then of course Nezuko comes in with Tanjiro, piggybacking off of her, and then Nezuko's like, "Ha, plot convenience." And sure enough, the blue wife keeps freaking out, and I'm at this point, Nezuko, you probably got to help her, burn her too, make sure to engulf her in flames as well. Maybe that will calm her down. Maybe have her shut up.
How does Nezuko control the flames where it doesn't hurt humans? Can it hurt humans?
It's only targeting demon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then even to make that scene even more stupid, her husband is burning for all she knows. So she grabs the demon that burned him, and then starts saying, "Bad, bad. I'm gonna spank you.
Bad. You're doing bad."
What the fuck?
And then Ted's like, "Nah, bro, I'm good. I'm missing an eye. I lost one of my hands. I'm bleeding all over, but you know what? I'm kind of good."
First episode of the arc and last episode of the arc, they were talking about spanking little girls. This show's weird.
Full circle, dude. Full circle.
Japan, bro. Japan, man. I love it.
Look at that foreshadowing right there.
So after that, before the other Hashira makes his appearance, that's when we got the backstory of Green Demon and Daki, which is, pretty tragic. But go
I
ahead.
don't know if you want to say like the whole thing where again Tanjiro's piggybacking, and then he finds them.
Yes.
He finds
yeah.
the blood pool actually, because we haven't seen that since it was mentioned. I don't think. Or actually, like the one bongo guy, maybe. I don't know. Remember how he has to collect the samples of the blood?
Mm-hmm.
I completely forgot about that. I had no idea what the F he was doing when he was collecting that blood, and then a random ass cat comes out of nowhere. I'm like,
he's gotta get research level 10, and that's one of the tasks.
Dude, I'm level 3, man.
He's sending it back to that one demon that's like good also, that's like the mob.
He's like researching like a cure for Nezuko pretty much, and so in order to do that, he has to collect or get to research level 10 of Muzin's blood. Pretty much. So,
I completely forgot about that because I thought he was saying that back to the core,
No.
For some reason, just to be like, hey, we killed the upper 6, here's the blood to prove it, bitch.
Right. So then,
I thought I could make it the whole time, but I have to purely bet, so you guys just keep talking. We still have a lot to talk about, so I'll be right back.
We'll have your chair take over.
all right, I'll let the chair talk then.
He muted as he left, so we don't even get to hear from the chair.
Dang. Yeah. So
Normally, if Mitch hadn't muted, we'd hear, a lot of commentary from the chair. But unfortunately, Mitch muted.
Speak, damn you!
speak. Yeah. So
Zetsu is trash.
so, like,
Oh my god, what the fuck just happened?
since Muzin pretty much like diffused his blood into the upper 6. Tanjiro was tasked to collect samples of their blood, enough of it to be able to send back to the lady to research and hopefully come up with a cure for Nezuko. That's like the whole objective.
Yeah.
That's the reason why he's like fighting.
That's the lady who not her specifically, but they were in her house when that one chick who kicked all the balls or whatever showed up.
Yeah, the waifu. I mean, what?
Yeah. I got you.
Yeah.
It was the younger kid that is also with her, right?
Yeah. I think he was. Yeah. I think he was a. Was he a demon too?
Yeah, he
don't
called
know.
Nezuko ugly at the beginning.
Oh yeah. Well, he's a nut.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Tanjiro, thanks. Tanjiro, he's like being all stealthy. Comes up to the pool of blood, and he's like, "Here's this rock." Fucking bounces. He's like, "All right, it's safe. The blood won't attack me."
Good.
So
It's
he goes and just
good.
stabs
It's
it.
actual blood.
Yeah. So he just stabs it.
It makes my favorite splish splashy noise. I know it's good to process. So then after he deposits the blood to the fucking cat and the cat goes away, he comes across. He wants to make sure Green Demon and Daki are dead. So he's looking for the bodies just to make sure they completely disintegrate. And after a little bit of running around, of course, Tanjiro's like, sniff that. Aside from your lovely hair, Nezuko, my sister. Oh, we should do this piggybacking more often. Oh, but there's the demon right over there. I smell her hair too. Yes.
How did he point where the demons were?
I don't know with his fucked up fingers.
He's like, wait, Nezuko, wait.
Let's go that way.
That way.
Let's go that way.
Sorry, I don't mean to double back, but so that cat that just appeared and then disappeared, is that part of that other demon's shtick?
It's a demon cat.
It might be a
okay.
demon
It's a demon
slayer.
cat.
There might
What do
be
you
a
mean?
demon art or something.
Because that reminded me of the cat from Black Clover. All of a sudden just popped in and popped out, and I was like, huh? Makes more sense now.
But moving on, Tanjiro comes across the heads of both Green Demon and Daki, both just starting to slowly amp up, bitching at each other, and they just pretty much get to the point where I never want to see you again. Yeah, you better not.
Oh shit! I'm sorry, Alex. Sorry, I didn't let my chair speak. Here, chair, go ahead.
Thank you. You muted when you walked away, so we didn't get to hear from the chair.
Speak, chair.
Well, Welcome to the cum zone.
Stop.
Only cum
Stop.
inside and
Stop. That's the last time we let the chair talk. It got
Put
out
a
of control,
muffle on
chair.
that thing.
Chair really went off the deep end.
He had his opportunity and they took it, okay? So after, us being in shock from that, Tanjiro interrupts their squabble and it's like stupidly just puts his hand over the demon's, mouth. I'm like, dude, he's gonna bite you, man. He still got teeth. Yeah. Those things are razor sharp, man. And he's just like, no,
Wait,
stop it. Bad.
We're skipping the backstory because we already talked about it, right?
We're gonna talk about it a little bit more.
We didn't really.
Okay.
Just kind of do like just a general, like this.
He had a bad backstory. I don't want to go into detail about their backstory because I just don't give a shit about it. I just wanted to just think what would ever be a good time to bring up their backstory, though, is the question.
Because
I thought before they died, I don't know. Here's the one I did want to talk about. One thing about their backstory that I had a question for all of you. That demon, the upper six that gave them his blood. Do we think that they replaced him, or do you think that demon moved up in rank? It is now like upper 4 or upper 2 or upper 1 maybe. Could that be like the upper 1?
I don't know.
Because he was talking when he gave them the blood. He was talking about, I hope you guys progress, and like he made it seem very important to him to progress in rank. Yeah. So, because I don't feel like they would introduce. Yeah, I don't think they would introduce a character just for that one scene.
Have we gotten any other instances that we've known about that like another upper level demon has like ever been killed?
Not in the last 100 years.
Yeah, they have not. Not
in the last 100 years. This is the first one killed in 100 years. Yeah.
And I guess
it also depends how long were this brother and sister actually demons. Because if it was over 100 years, then
it seemed like their backstory took place a long time ago, just by like the
about like 20 minutes ago.
Yep.
And they've killed a lot of Hashira and stuff.
Yeah, they've killed a
lot
of
4.5.
So I don't know. It could be 100 years for all we know. That demon could have died. I don't think an upper demon would go down in rank. At least I don't think that's like.
Well, no. What I mean by like replacing him, do you think like he died? That's what I'm saying.
Right. That's what I'm getting at. So I don't think he died.
It'd be kind of nutty if they introduced a new demon. They're just like, that was just a pump.
Well,
fake.
wait. Didn't we see all the upper 6, all the moons, in like one of the first episodes of season 1?
I thought we at least saw like the upper 3, 2, and 1, and I know the upper 1 doesn't look like that guy, from what I remember at least.
Anime.
Anime.
Yeah. Okay. So in like the first time we see Musen, we see all the upper 6, but they're all silhouette. Like you see Daki, I can see Akaza, I can see the brother, but then the rest of them are just like I can't tell you who the other ones are.
Okay.
So.
Well.
I think the only explanation that we really need to give though about the backstory to make it connect and make it relevant is just say that they had a tragic backstory. They were not well-off children. They had to work together to survive, and that the brother really cared about his sister when they were still humans, and so that obviously then makes it a strong parallel to Tanjiro and Nezuko, because I don't know, if we don't mention that about the backstory, then you don't get the connection.
Yeah, I think the reason why they show us the backstory while the demon is dying is so that we show sympathy the same exact time Tanjiro is showing sympathy. Because at that point, like, Tanjiro's, like, cuddling, cradling the head, kissing it on the forehead, telling everything's all right, all that shit. Nezuko like has her hand on Tanjiro's hand, which has the head in his hand, but a little bit of his, lipstick worn off on his forehead, So, yeah. So while Tanjiro and Nezuko and them are showing sympathy for the demon, we're supposed to be feeling sympathy by Josh. Hope you had a good... Hey, how's traffic out there, Josh? Can we have a traffic report? Yeah. So, I think that's why they show the backstory at Wall. The demon is dying, so then we, relate with Tanjiro in that way. I don't think it lands because we start the backstory with legit zero sympathy, and then we leave it with like, well, that sucked, but I still don't like him. So it's like, what am I supposed to feel here? I got a little choked up when I saw them like go into like you had like the hell and then you had like the heaven pathways, and the brother was trying to push the sister away, telling her to go to the light. But then I'm thinking like, why the f is she allowed to go to the light? What? She's just as bad. Yeah. You're both going that way. I was just waiting for the light side to engulf her into flames or some shit, Just kind of like an extra FU. Just, put a bow on this stuff, like Tanjiro tried to do with the head after kissing it in the forehead,
I obviously understand everything you're saying about not being able to excuse their actions after they became demons and did such horrible things, but I feel like, it's obviously.
I'm saying I felt bad for the backstory. I had sympathy for when they were human. I don't have any sympathy for them when they're a demon.
Yeah. I guess it's just, showing that the only reason they ever got to the point where they needed to give up their humanity is because they were a bunch of humans that treated them super poorly, and that kind of pushed them to this extreme, violent lifestyle that they led at the end of their lives, and then in their undying lives.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying
the only time through the entire backstory I felt sympathy was when he found Daki's burnt body. I was like, holy shit, just because she said no to the samurai? Damn.
Yeah,
well, stabbed the samurai in the eye.
What happened? I don't understand why she did that.
The samurai, so she was 13. She worked in like an Orion house. And the samurai, I think it's implied that the samurai was trying to force and have sex with her, like rape her. And she stabbed him in the eye.
That's a word for you.
Are we allowed to say that word?
I don't know.
Oh shit! Well, he tried to force himself on her, and she stabbed him in the eye, and then he burned her alive.
Well, yeah, samurai are really honorable, and
Are they though?
I'm not saying they're not. I'm saying like that's how everyone envisions them. So disrespecting a samurai by destroying their eye, that pretty much makes them ready to go on the chopping block, pretty much. And I'm sure like this one woman, like the leader of that house, was just probably feeding him a whole bunch of lies to kind of motivate him to burn the body, pretty much.
I also wanted to say, talking about honor, when Gyotaro found his sister Umi, which we found out what her real name was, the samurai, with all his honor, sliced Gyotaro in the back, which I don't think is very honorable for a samurai. So
I don't understand.
No reason to do it. He just did it because he was PO'd.
Yeah, he's a big
I don't
guy.
understand how Gyotaro jumped out of the pit like that and stabbed the woman in the face.
It was badass though.
It was super cool, but how the hell did
I was just like, yeah, get him, prank him, John.
I think his trademark was that he was like super strong, so he was probably just physically capable of doing that. It's anime, man. Anime BS.
Yeah.
Well, he's had to live his life so like defensively and on constantly on the edge or whatever that he's just strong and agile or whatever.
Yeah. So I mean, do we have any final thoughts on the backstory?
Did we talk about Oh, okay, yeah, no. Backstory, no. That's fine.
No. I think all I'll say is, again, reiterate what I said before, that I feel like if we got this backstory, like, in the middle of the arc, I think you would care even less about it, like, immediately after, and maybe you would think about it again at the end in, like, a longing way and be like, oh, okay.
Well,
I
And the
don't
fact that they
know.
put it at the end means
Here's-
that I think it hits the hardest being right at the end compared to coming to you earlier on.
Here's why I want the backstory before they die, because that their backstory was all about their relationship as, and I think it would have hammered home and made more impact on Gitaro's actions to protect Daki because of what they went through as kids. Because like before we were just like, oh, they're just brother and sister, okay, whatever, they love each other. But seeing how much she actually cared for her, I think that would have gave that fight a lot more impact. But that's just me. So, but I mean, both these villains were just, to me.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
for me, I would just be like, I don't give a shit whenever they show on the backstory. I care more about watching Tengen's backstory because he's actually like the part of the side I'm rooting for. I don't really want to root for the other side. You know, it has to be like a character that's really impactful and might be there for the long run. But I mean, they're not. They're dead. Bad. Bye. Bye. Both went to hell. Bye.
Makes it more tragic to learn about the backstory as they're dying and be like, dang, they don't even have the chance to try and do anything with these new, like, realizations that's coming about.
Yeah. Fuck them.
And
Yeah.
they're trying to remind you that they were humans once.
Yep. Bye.
Trev has
Yeah, so I guess,
sympathy.
I don't. They're
Well, I
they're
don't have
not.
to
They're
fear
not
them.
good.
And any sympathy I had, they ruined it with how much Daki cried at the end. She was just screaming and crying. I was like, gosh, shut up.
It was pretty cathartic, honestly.
Yeah, it was
Mhm.
like,
I
just get
wonder-
over
Cocky
it.
little shit learning, you know.
I wonder
They
if,
found
like,
out.
you know, because I know we joked about the whole, like, spanking girls, and then we were like, good Japan. I wonder if just, like, these characters, like, crying out like this is just a thing that is more common and they're more tolerable of it or whatever, because Zenitsu, the Blue Wife, and Daki all doing it. It's
just-
a lot.
The character.
It's a
trait.
character trope in anime. Every anime has a crying character like that.
Okay.
Demon Slayer was like, you know what? We want 3 at one time.
Hell
Yeah, but Daki wasn't doing like the super like annoying like crying, just like over exaggerated.
Then why are you complaining?
I'm not complaining about Daki. I'm saying it's cathartic because she was being a cocky little shit at the start of the fight, and she was being cocky at the start of the previous episode. But now, you know, when push comes to shove and she doesn't have a way out, she cries, and that makes sense. I'm more annoyed that Blue Wife and Zenitsu, because that's all they got, man, and it's just effing annoying. You know, it's just
What are
that's
you
it.
looking at?
You know, I'm just looking over the side because I can't even look at you guys right now because of how angry I am at the Blue Wife and Zenitsu. Fuck you,
don't have to take
shorts.
out your anger. You don't have to take out
God,
your
you
anger
stupid
on
red
us.
shorts. God. But yeah. After the backstory, the Daki and Green Demon, they fade away into the moonlight and
Into hell. Into the moonlight. What do you mean? And they walk straight into
No,
hell.
no, their heads go into the moonlight.
Oh, their dust goes in the moonlight, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I just realized, like, the final parallel being that Green Demon was carrying Daki or Umi, what was doing a piggyback with her, whereas early in the episode, obviously, it was Nezuko giving Tanjiro a piggyback.
Tanjiro. Yeah.
And I guess, you know, obviously, throughout the whole show,
Tangerine.
it's usually Tanjiro carrying her in the box on his back.
So then, one of the last scenes we see of this entertainment arc is the White Snake Hashira, weird ass dude.
Oh, we skipped the Kaza.
Why
That's at
he's
the end, I think.
I thought that was before all
very-
this. I thought this happened right
Yeah.
after.
I
That's
thought
at the
Akaza
end.
was, like, the very end, right before it cut.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay.
same with
It
the
was.
leader of the Demon Slayer Corps, I think.
Okay, we'll get to that then. Okay.
Yeah.
Morty. So then, the White Snake Hashira is just like, "Hey, bro."
Where the fuck was he, by the way?
He just showed up. He just got there. He's like fucking One Punch Man. He's like One Punch Man. You know, he's so cool. It looks like I showed up late. Are you gonna keep fighting, bro? Look at you. You're missing. Your dumbass is missing an eye, missing a hand. How are you gonna keep fighting? Tenzin's like, nah, bro.
I'm done.
I'm done. And then he's like, I already hate you, but that just means I'm not gonna ever like you. And I'm just sitting here like, who? First off, who in the shit are you? Second off, I don't give a fuck what you care about. Leave. Bye bye. Who cares? Run the credits. I'm done with this effing dipshit episode. Please. Get me out of it.
I was watching a clip on Facebook earlier of the first season. The Whitesnake Hashira is the one who like pinned Tanjiro to the ground while another one was like hurting Nezuko, and he was like digging his elbow into Tanjiro so hard that he was like coughing, and like one of the other Hashiras was like, dude, you're going overboard here, and he was like, shut up. So he is not a nice guy.
Well, Tenzin mentioned that, like, because the whole reason he didn't want Tenzin to retire, he's like, we haven't replaced Rengoku's spot yet, afford to replace you yet. And Tenzin's like, don't worry, someone's coming to replace, someone's already hitting their potential. And he's like, the kid you don't like, and then we see Tanjiro.
No, not him. I don't like him.
He's like, I don't like that kid.
No, I don't like him. He's not my favorite character.
But yeah, fuck the snake guy. I was like really, you're just gonna show up literally 5 minutes after everything's over?
Yeah, and then conveniently the crow gets back to the head honcho, right?
I want to say too, there is no way you could be within like a 5-mile radius and not hear the fight that's going on. You think he would have hurried a little faster? Dude.
No, he got there as fast as he could.
Mitch, he is the snake Hashira, not like the Velociraptor Hashira. He can only move so fast.
Yeah.
Fuck, so stupid.
Plus, he wasn't probably getting there with much urgency because he's like, I don't give a shit about Tenzin. I don't give a shit about Tanjiro. You know, I'm just gonna walk. I'm gonna take my time.
Well, if he doesn't give a shit about Tenzin, why?
I got a pebble in my shoe. I'm just, well, because they can't run out of Hashira.
So then you would think he would hurry to save the other Hashira.
No.
Like, your logic makes no sense.
Yeah, so does this entire episode.
All right.
Okay. Bad episode. Bad.
And then they all hug and kiss and cry.
I'm genuinely surprised that you guys hate this episode so much.
I don't hate it.
It's not. It's just after that last episode, I was just hoping they would just like recover in like the butterfly house or something. We get like more just chill conversation with the squad, and more chill conversation with Tofu. Not seeing the backstory of Green Demon and Daki. I just didn't give a shit.
I don't hate it, but like Trav said, coming off of episode 10 into 25 minutes of backstory, 2 demons we don't care about anymore, it sucked.
And that's what we're supposed to end this district thing on? Yeah.
And the season, too.
Yeah.
It's like I thought maybe we were going to jump straight into the new arc. No, for like probably a year of Demon Slayer.
Yeah, I think that if they would have given us those other 10 minutes that they, for some reason, didn't put in this episode, they definitely could have squeezed in a little bit more closure.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys already mention what happened at the head honcho's house? Like the history of
We were about to get there.
We kind of mentioned the fact that they haven't killed the upper 6 in a. And this is.
So I don't even remember what that guy's name is, but
I don't either.
I just call him Purple Head.
Yeah, Scarface pretty much is like freaking out. He's super happy because conveniently the crow finally gets to him and tells him what the hell happened.
Dude, he is like so effed up looking, dude.
Do we know what the fuck is up with him? Because he almost looked like the same.
The poison. Yeah.
He looked
I have a
like
theory.
The same purple from the poison.
I have a theory. Because it's something he says. I think Yusuf was about to get to it. If you want to keep going, Yusuf, then I'll say my theory.
I was just going to sum up what happened. So he finds out that they were successful. He praises them. He's like, finally, it's been 100 years since we've been able to take down an upper. He's like, we did this. There's going to be some massive change. We're going to take down Muz in this generation. Shit's going to happen. You better watch out.
And he
talks about, he starts coughing up blood. But he mentions something about, like, Muzin's like the biggest burden on his family or something like that. So there's some
That's what
kind
I
of
was.
connection.
That's what I was gonna say. I feel like he's probably sick because he shares Muzin's blood. Like I feel like probably Muzin. He's probably in Muzin's family. I feel like Muzin's so cursed that anyone that shares his blood, even if he not turned into a demon, is gonna be sick from it. So that's probably why he's sick. And if I had to guess,
Do you think that's
Like,
something
yeah,
that
and then
Nezuko would be able to fix or not fix then? If he's
who
In
not.
terms
Nezuko?
in terms of plot, probably not.
No, hell no. Nezuko's not that strong.
They're probably putting the final nail in that guy's coffin.
He's gonna die anytime soon.
I mean, adding to the annoying characters this episode, then he starts coughing up blood. The daughters run over, and then the lady, I don't know if that's just his caregiver, or the
It's
wife,
his
or
wife.
whatever.
It's his
It's
wife.
his
The
wife,
wife,
yeah.
she's like, "Girls, go get some. What is it? Go get some water. Go get
Yeah.
something to clean this up." They're like, she's like, just go get it, and then they're just sitting there.
What
Dosa,
happened?
Daddy,
Dosa.
no. Daddy,
What
no.
happened?
Dad,
They're
Dad.
like,
My
go
dad.
get water. Go. Dosa. Do they want to say something on stream?
Yeah. Don't show away potential content.
If
Not
the
content.
if the chair can talk, then
Yeah.
I mean nothing could be worse than what the chair said.
Yeah.
It's not
So-
content, bro.
So then what happens afterwards? You know, the upper demon's just like, oh, there's a new spot to fill or some shit.
Well,
Yeah.
no, yeah. But I was gonna say that seeing Akaza again, and then thinking back to his fight with Rengoku, and then thinking about this fight, I'm so excited to see him go all out and actually try and kill somebody. Because his fight versus Rengoku, he was just having fun. He was trying to convince Rengoku to turn into a demon. I want to see him go balls to the wall, all out, see what he can do. Because if he's 3 moons stronger than these two, he's got to be crazy strong, man.
And what did he have? Was he like a martial art type of?
Yeah, it was basically all just he uses fists. Yeah, just close combat fighting.
Nice. Yeah, so it flashes over to like the palace or whatever, like the multi-dimensional palace or
Mugen's
whatever.
castle.
Yeah, Infinity Castle, I think it's called.
Yeah. He's like, ah, shit, here we go again.
This must
It's
mean
been
one
over.
died.
It's been over 100 years since he's been there.
Shit.
Someone.
Here we go again.
There we go.
Shout out to CJ.
Yep.
Yeah, and then that's all he says. We don't see Muse and we don't see any of the other to end out. All
Then you
the
get-
4 main characters are hugging, and then that's like, what happened?
Yeah. She's just kind of sandwiched in between them, just like the background on this on the stream, the overlay or whatever.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
fuck
that's
'em.
right. The final scene is this overlay.
Yeah, everyone. But yeah,
Everyone just bonks heads, and they're like, "All right, we gonna head out."
yeah, they just won't
So-
stop crying.
I have a question. It's doubling back quite a bit. So
Back to the first episode of Demon Slayer.
back to the first episode of this episode.
What's
At
up,
the very
guys?
end, when Tanjiro was like
Tanjiro?
he had the white eyes and he had the mark form. So is that like officially his like sun breather mark forming, and like him no longer being able to say like, this is the scar I got from when I got hurt with the water in the pan?
It has to do
like,
something in relation
Does
to
he
his.
have a
it-
sun breather scar now?
Well,
do you
Well,
think?
we don't know because all we know is what we've seen.
Well, obviously the scar represents something
thank
with either sun breathing or his demon slaying abilities. I don't know, because at the beginning of the show it starts off as a normal scar. I don't know when it changes to like the flaming looking scar.
Isn't it when he gets his Nitron sword,
So
or
maybe
like after he passes the exam?
it's in relation to him becoming a demon slayer then. So maybe
Yeah.
that scar has some relation towards his power or some shit. Or his level with slaying demons in the core. And you could see that got even more lit up when he started using more and more of his powers. So it showed him probably evolving as a slayer, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just wondering at what point he's gonna stop denying it as like a thing he got from the water in the pot and start being like, this is a legitimate thing that is forming on my head.
Well,
Well,
yeah, that's
well,
just. Go ahead.
it's confusing though because Rengoku's dad was like, "Oh, that's like your scar," but Tanjiro thought back to it, he's like, "But no, my father said he had that scar since he was born, but I didn't have the scar when I was born. I got it when the boiling water was dropped on my head." So
Maybe we can't see his scar.
maybe his scar is an eternal scar. I feel that, bro. Feel that.
What scar are we talking about anymore?
I don't know. We should wrap it up though, because
No,
we've been going for an
No,
hour and a
I
half.
just realized something.
Trav, we've been talking about Demon Slayer. Trav. Do you know where you are right now? Do you need to hold the Twix bar real quick?
We're just talking about this episode.
Yeah, bro.
But it sounds like we're out of shit to say for Demon Slayer. So
Look forward to the
let's
Sword
Wait,
wrap this shit
Mitch,
up.
you still wanted to say something before we...
What? Did you say? I don't know what's happening. Did you say you wanted to say something, or you say I wanted to say something?
No, you were saying that you wanted to say something before.
Oh, I was.
Yeah.
Okay. No.
All right.
No.
Let's end this fucking podcast. All right, Mitch's chair, give us the outro. Let's go.
Okay.
Mitch, get out of the shot. You're taking out all the chains.
Jesus Christ.
I gotta get my headphones
away.
stuck.
Bad. All right. So with that, we're going to be ending the podcast. So whoever hung out, thanks for hanging out. And I think it's time to roll the outro. Take it away, chair.
Welcome to the Come Zone. Only come inside anime girl. Quivering clit.
On the next episode of this episode, Trev, Mitch, Josh, and Yusuf discuss episodes 81 and 82 of the final season of Attack on Titan. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any new episodes. Also watch live at twitch.tv/Dutchery every Monday night. And never forget that we are all born free.